best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you. Mr. Claridge and another individual were run through the fire the other about a week and a half ago, and we do appreciate them both coming forward to seek this position, and for Mr. Claridge agreeing that yes, this is what he can do. At this time, please stand, and Mr. Cotton will be leading us in our prayer, and Ellie Contreras will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father in heaven, wherever we can gather together as students to discuss the needs of the children in our district and how we can best serve and help them, we ask thou please guide our discussions this evening. Please bless us with a spirit of discernment and also a spirit of peace, that we can have thoughtful and useful conversations that will be for the betterment of all involved. We pray for these things, Father, in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Ms. Contreras.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And thank you. Please be seated. Did anyone have any comments or questions on the agenda? Hearing none, then I would
Madam
entertain.
Chair?
Sir,
Sorry, I was looking through the agenda. I did not see on there an area where we were going to have a vote on the new proposal for a football coach.
that's part of
It is
our
part of
consent
personnel.
agenda
Okay, my mistake.
under personnel.
Okay.
Okay.
I must have missed it. Then
All right.
no objection.
Other further questions? Then I would entertain a motion for approval of the agenda before us tonight.
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion.
Motion by Trustee Sukan. Second by Trustee Anderson. You guys are going to get it tonight. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There's a story behind that, just so you know. Okay, did anyone have any other comments or questions regarding our consent agenda for the evening? Okay, hearing none, the consent agenda is adopted by unanimous consent. Ms. Contreras, did you have the report for Minidoka tonight?
How are you tonight?
We're doing well. Thank you for being here.
Well, my teacher now reminds me because, I tend to forget everything. So, I actually have really good news. So, our basketball boys team, they went to state. They didn't win anything. However, we're so proud of them because they did great. We had a very good winter sports season, which we're so proud of it. We also had a Freaky Friday play. It was I think it's really good. Well, it was, and yeah, it was well done. We actually also had the student election for our student body representatives this year. You're not gonna be having me next year. I'm leaving, but there's gonna be another girl. Don't worry about it. We had the FFA week. We had different activities, different dress stops. We actually also had he told me how to say it and I forgot. Not a truck. What is it? A tractor to school. There you go. We had a drive a tractor to school, and they did a community launch, and they served over 1,000 people. So, yeah, it was a great week. I just want to remind you all that we have a really bad weather lately. Just be safe. And well, we just had a spring break. I hope everyone had a great week. Actually, before I end up, I want to say that I was so happy when I walked in today. I saw one of the leaders of Latinos in Action, and not to brag, but I was the president for a week. And then I quit because it was too much pressure. But it was good. And well, he's actually right here with us right now, and he's going to explain you a little bit more about the activities that they had. And well, I think it's a really good program. And yeah, we're just looking forward to see what spring has for us. And that's it I have. That's all I have. Thanks.
Does anybody have any questions for her?
Come on, you always have questions for me.
So, when will the new representative come?
I actually don't know. However, I I think it's gonna be like the last time that
May?
yeah.
Okay. We'll look forward to meeting them in that time. In the meantime, we'll have you here and that'll be more fun.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ellie. Is there anyone from Mount Harrison? I didn't think I saw anybody. Okay. Latinos in Action from East Minico are good news. Not tonight. Oh, East Minico is giving their presentation first. I apologize. I misread the punctuation. Shame on me. I know better. Okay. Is that you, Mr. Durant? Okay.
Well, good evening. Thank you for letting us come and talk about the good news from East Minico. We didn't know where to start. We just had a hard time narrowing it all down. So we really appreciate the opportunity to come to do this type of thing. I brought one of our wonderful musical educators with us. Our good news tonight is going to be centered around just the wonderful music program that we have at East Minico and really across our school district. I feel like we're just very fortunate to have just such talented people in those positions right now across our school district. And East Minico is, I feel very blessed to have just really good educators, really good musical minds, and they're doing such a great job in recruiting kids to come to their programs, and they're just doing really cool stuff out of the box. I don't know if you've ever gone to one of Mrs. Birch's choir concerts. It's just way different, but so cool and well done, and the kids just do such a great job. So she's here on behalf of Brandon Alves, who's our new music or our band director this year, and Miss Jana Johnson, who is our orchestra director. She's going to speak on behalf of all of them, but we're just so proud of our music department and Mrs. Birch, and appreciate her doing this tonight for us. But there's just so many good things happening in that area, which we know is so important to student development, being well-rounded and preparing kids to move on. So I'm going to turn it right over to her. She can talk to you about some of the cool things that have happened, and she's got some pictures flying for you up here too. So thank you.
Thank you. So March is Music in Our Schools month, and I am pleased to represent the music department at East Minico. In reality, I represent the music department for the entire district, as you usually don't see one of us without the others, regardless of the fact that we all teach at different buildings and many of us travel between buildings. However, today I do speak for the music teachers at East Minico. We love what we do, which is to ignite the spark of creativity that exists in each student as we coach them through learning the performing arts. Some of the highlights this year from the music department representing band, choir, orchestra, and more have been performing concerts once per quarter for our beloved community, select students performing at District 4 Middle School Honor Clinic at the KFAC in Burley, select students performing at ACDA's All-State Middle School Honor Choir in Pocatello, orchestra socials, daily interactions with students, helping them to build individual musicianship skills, work together as a team, and connect with community members, and putting on our second annual middle school play, The Lion King Jr. Band. Our new band director, Mr. Alves, has quickly become a well-loved addition to our music team. He has worked diligently to help students improve their musicianship, and the results are audibly apparent. Just come to any of their concerts. It is clear he has a passion for teaching kids music and holds them to high standards. Choir. Our choir director, myself, has fallen in love with this area and the people in it. I've worked tirelessly to provide as many musical opportunities for my students as possible. They have taken advantage of these opportunities and grown in many ways. I'm excited to see where this will take us as we gear up for our final concerts and festivals. Orchestra. Our orchestra director, Mrs. Johnson, has set a goal to include regular social activities as part of building the orchestra program from 4th through 12th grades. Student leaders from the high school orchestra lead the charge in planning and executing these activities. This allows students to see not only what they can do now, but what they can do in the future. Orchestra concerts also embrace this horizontal structure by having combined concerts. There are so many students performing. She and Mrs. Andrews have the wonderful problem of filling the high school auditorium beyond capacity, creating a need to hold two separate concerts. All music. All of us are currently gearing up to prepare students for large group festivals, end of year concerts, and more. We just closed on our Lion King Junior show, which was open to all students, including students who are currently taking band, choir, orchestra, or music appreciation classes, or even students who have no music classes at all. It was a huge success, and we know these students benefited in many ways. We love what we do and are happy to share what is happening in our small corner of the world with you this evening. On the slideshow, you saw several pictures from some of the highlights mentioned. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all the effort that you put into it. And you all know that music is near and dear to my heart, so I appreciate the work that you're doing and getting to go to my grandson's concerts and getting to go to other musicals. That has been wonderful. And I think it's exciting to see this much music happening in Minidoka County schools. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now Latinos in action.
It's on his school computer. It's his Dell. And I'll introduce you while you're doing that. It's my privilege to introduce Trino Garcia, and you've already heard from Miss Ellie. And just a quick story while they're doing that. Miss Ellie's family is one of the first families that I got to visit when I became liaison. And all three children were very limited in their English. And this young lady has gone far above and actually tested out of the access test. And her sister and her brother now have as well. So amazing family. We're very blessed to have them in our district, and I know that she'll do really great things in this life. And then as for Mr. Trino Garcia, he came to us from California. We don't hold that against him, but he is an amazing young man as well. He is very involved in all of the community efforts that we do in our school district. He has been instrumental in making sure that I have the volunteers that I need for our food drive, our food distribution that we had in February, and we're hosting our next one on Saturday, the 1st. And he is also in my church class, so I get to be his teacher that way. And he's just all around, well-rounded young man that has done. We have to have 15 hours, community service hours for our church class, and he's done over 40. So he does great things for our community. We're very blessed to have him as well. So Mr. Trino Garcia for Latinos in Action.
Hi, good afternoon. As Ms. Jamie said, I am Trino Garcia, I'm the president for Latinos in Action. Um, we have the LIA demographics. LIA is a leadership course taught at Minico High School. It's Hispanic, Latin, or anyone with Spanish roots are able to join. They're very welcome. Um, we also welcome non-Latin students. Uh, right now, for as the moment, we have students that are Mexican, Mexican American, people who come from Peru, Guatemala, and Philippines. We have one student who's in Philippines right now. The leadership. I'm Bruno Garcia. I'm in the 11th grade. I'm the president. The vice president would be Dariana. She is president or vice president for social activities. My bad. Um, she's in charge of events like dancing, planning events, those type of things. we have the other vice president, David. He is president for service. He's in charge of organizing and planning service projects for school or the community. And our last vice president is Ingrid. She is president for professionalism, in charge on teaching responsibility, integrity, accountability, and excellence. Our activities that we have done in the past or are done with. For month of August, we did a taco stand. For month of September, we have the homecoming lunch activities and games. We have concession on the concession stands during um, football games or stuff like or basketball games. Um, we started painting the concession stand, but couldn't finish it because it got cold. Um, so it's still a work in progress. We're hopefully gonna finish it by either next month or around there. During October, we did a car wash fundraiser. We helped at the concession stand during again. We keep doing it many times. We done trunk or treat at the school. It's pretty amazing. For November, we did turkey boxes. For the turkey boxes, we technically just so we get the food and we just put it in a box, right? And then we technically give it out to those who in need. So we do that. It's pretty fun. Um, for December, we were at the Burley Christmas Parade. That was amazing. We made games for carnivals like at school, and then we did gift the green, where I believe um, we packed. ¿Cómo se dice? Cuando le das como cosas a los niños. Yeah, that's right. We did. We sorry. We gave gifts to kids and families that are having very difficult times during holidays. So we did that for December. That was all these activities we done. We have completed most of them, and we're still trying. Like I said, doing the concession stand. We're finished painting that. Activities for the future to finish this year is we're doing a parent dinner Friday, March 23rd. We're gonna do information about the school, and we're gonna perform a dance, which I'm pretty excited about. Um, we're gonna perform another dance at Minico with the dance team on April 20th. We're doing a team up with student council to clean up the school parking lots because they're pretty dirty sometimes. May 20th, we're doing a teacher's appreciation lunch, and for summer, we're doing a leadership boot camp. These are some photos from the events for the car wash and all those type of carnival activities we done. That was okay for the middle, the one in the middle. I don't know if you guys can see it down there or not, but the one in the middle, we went to a conference at Utah for Latinos in Action. We performed the dance in front of everyone there. I don't know if there was like 1,000 students or more, possibly, but it was pretty exciting. Uh, the vice president Dariana, she won. She was doing a singing competition. I can't say what place she got, cause I mean, yeah. And then the little one on the photo with two of them, he did a drawing competition and ended up third place. So that was pretty amazing. That's pretty much it.
Does anyone have any comments or questions for them? First of all, I just want to say it's so exciting to see what you guys are doing. And it's active and doing so much. It's very impressive. Very impressive.
I'm excited about that leadership conference you're doing in the summer. Where are you guys going to do that at?
Well, still
Working on that?
figure it out. Yeah.
Okay.
We should just like where we're going and stuff like that. So.
Awesome. look forward to hearing more about that.
What
That'd be
was
great.
what was your favorite activity throughout the year? Yeah.
Probably the car wash because it involved with hands-on and stuff like that, and everyone's participating, which is pretty amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, the dance in Utah looked pretty fun. Looks like you guys had a good time.
It was fun. I mean, for me, it was. I love dancing, but most of the students, I mean, they were pretty terrified since it was the first time.
Did you met other friends there? So you made some friends while you were there from other schools and out of state, correct?
Yes, we did. I've known a few of them from the past, but yeah, we met quite a lot of people.
Awesome. It's fantastic.
Really?
Well, they did third place.
Wow.
Well, the costumes are
congratulations.
great. I love
Yes.
the
When do we get
skirts.
to see it? That's what I
Yeah.
want
I
to
was going to say, you want
do. Come dance here.
to dance for us, maybe?
You danced here one night, didn't you?
Yeah, Dr. Parker
Yeah.
got to see him in
Yeah,
Oh, that's great.
yeah, it was
Very
great.
awesome. Very
That's
nice.
awesome.
Very
Very
nice.
cool. This is super
This
impressive.
is
was
very,
great.
very awesome. And you did a great presentation. Thank you.
If you guys do wish to see us dance, you guys are just welcome to come during parent dinner. We're performing there. That's cool.
It's actually this Friday, not the 23rd.
Oh,
Dave was wrong.
this Friday, so the 31st? Okay.
At Minidoka.
At Minico. What
At
time
what
is
time?
it?
Tell you guys the details.
What
Perfect.
what time is it?
It's from 5 to 7.
Oh, I gotta go to Boise. Dang it.
Yeah, I'll be out of town too.
I have to be in Boise.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Very
you.
impressive.
Very good. Awesome.
Great
Thank you for
presentation.
keep going forward, you guys. I love how you're building relationships with others, and it's great. It's growing. Yes. And thank you for coming to the Lion's Den and giving us a nice presentation. I know how scary we are. Thank you. Were there any patron comments turned in? Okay. We have Young's Automotive and Julie's Clothes for Kids. Is Mr. Gailey here? Okay. We would be interested in knowing what you have to say because none of us really know.
Well, I'm glad you don't know what I'm here to say because then I can't mess it up. That's good. Can I hand these?
Sure. Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank you for giving me some time to visit with you tonight. I'm Mike Gailey. I'm the general manager of the Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram store in Burley. And I'm here to talk to you about our charitable foundation and more specifically to talk to you about Julie's Clothes for Kids. It's the program that we do here in this area. But just to kind of introduce ourselves, we, Young Automotive Group, we've been in Burley for about 27 years. We have the 3 stores there. We have the Chrysler Jeep Dodge store, which I'm over. We have a GMC Buick store, which Craig Dearden is the general manager of. And then we have our Power Sports store, which Brett Whitaker is the general manager. Unfortunately, the 2 of them were not able to attend tonight with me, so I'll make that up to them later. But as part of the Young Automotive Group, we're a Utah-based company, but have moved into Idaho. Actually, just recently opened another dealership in Idaho Falls, so we're going to be growing even more in this area, in the Idaho area, and in this. And of course, we love being a part of this area. I've lived here for 25 years, so it's good. But we, as part of our company, we have a charitable foundation called Young Caring for Our Young, and with that, we have events that we do to help children, kids in the area. And over the last 2 years, we've collected and donated more than 200 pounds of food. We've fed over 28,000 kids for the weekend doing pantry packs. We've supplied school clothes and coats to over 4,000 kids. We provided books and supplies for more than 6,500 children, and we provide basic supplies and comfort to more than 800 homeless teens through some of these events that we have. The event that we do here in Idaho is called Julie's Clothes for Kids. It is named in honor of Julie Brashears, who passed away suddenly, and she was very involved with children and with the schools, and so we know that she would have loved this event. What we have done is over the last 3 years, we in the month of August, early in August, we have kids from the Minidoka School District and also from Kaja School District. We've clothed. What we do is we meet at Walmart early in August, usually about 6:30 in the morning. We get set up there. We've worked closely with Walmart, and we have a $150 gift card for these kids. And how it works is the kids are chosen by the school district. The counselors in the school district, they decide who these kids are in need. We have nothing to do with that. And then we have volunteers that actually shop with the children. And so they come, they have $150 to spend. The volunteer can spend as much money as they want. I can promise you, having been one of them, there's a lot more money spent than the 150. And these kids get clothing, then they get a backpack, they get books, they get some school supplies. We then have them do a little thank you note, and we typically have some food vouchers for them, or we have food on site. Along with that, we have we usually have the sheriff's department there, the fire department there. It just gives them an opportunity to interact with those folks in a situation that's not stressful, which many of them, that's probably they know of that. So it's really good. The one thing I can tell you is if you're lacking a smile, time spent doing that will bring a smile. And well, I was when I talked to the casual area, I got a little emotional. I'm going to try not to do that tonight, but you can't help but do that when you're helping these young kids that don't have the means that they need, and to see the smiles on their faces and the excitement as they get to get new clothes. Now, the other thing that we do is the clothes are marked, so the parents can't return the clothes to get the money. I mean, it goes to them. That's the only place they can return them, to change sizes if for some reason they need to do that. But that's what we do. This year, our goal is to feed 250 children from those two school districts. And we have the funding to do that, and we will get that done. Uh, trying to think of what else I wanted to talk about. I think I kind of covered it, but anyway, it's a great event. The reason I'm here is to provide that information for the school board. The other reason that I'm here is I want to encourage and invite the school board to come out and participate. It requires hundreds of volunteers to be able to pull this off. And the one thing that I can tell you is it will change your life. So all of the donations that we get, 100% of it goes to Julie's Clothes for Kids. That's what it's there for. So when you donate to it, that's where it goes. In addition to Julie's Clothes for Kids, we also have a new program that I'm trying to get started in this area. What we have found is that there's often kids that don't get caught up in the Julie's Clothes for Kids, maybe later in the year or other times, that need some clothing, need some help. And so we have what's called the Kind Fund. That stands for Kids in Need. I have a small amount of money that I have set aside for that this year to not feed, but to clothe some children. Work similar, the same way. We would take those recommendations of a person from the school district. I would then find someone, an employee of mine or someone else, that would go and we would get all the sizes, everything we need for the person, and they would go shopping, and then we would bring it to the school, and the school would give it to the student. And so we want to get that going in this area. So we're looking for kids that we deem that are in need that we can't help during Julie's Clothes for Kids. I have about $2,500 for that. So I think if I'm any math teachers here, if you divide that by 150, what is that, like 35 kids, something like that? Anyway, somewhere I have enough to do that. I'd like to grow that fund. But of course, that requires donations. So I'm also here to ask for anybody that would like to donate. It's really simple to do. If you look inside of this program, there's a QR code. If you scan that QR code, it takes you to our website, and then you just simply go down, and it'll tell you. You'll give opportunity for where you want it. You look for Julie's Clothes for Kids. You make that donation in there, and we take it from there. So that's I think that's all I had tonight. Other than, like I said, I'd like to invite all of you to please take the time. We would love to see the board members there participating and taking some of these children through and helping them buy some clothes. And like I say, if you're having a rough day, it's a great way to come out the other side feeling really good about what's going on in the world. And watching those kids is amazing, just absolutely amazing. And we want to keep the program growing, and of course that requires a lot of support and help. But we also want to thank those we've had a lot of help from your district with this and volunteering, and also helping us with what is required. I might mention that everybody who volunteers, you can volunteer at that same website. We do a background check on everybody, so we make sure that whoever goes and helps the kids are good, solid, upstanding human beings, and they're taken care of. And anyway, great event, great event. So, you have any questions? Or?
So on that QR code that leads to the website, it will have the date of when you guys do that.
Yes, it's in. And I apologize. I realized when I got here, we set the date, and I realized when I got here, I forgot to write that down.
No worries.
But it's typically it'll be the week between the two fairs. I know that, which I think is around the 9th. And then I think we usually have it on a Friday, but we've decided to move it up because it's difficult for some of the teachers to go. So I think we're either on a Tuesday or Wednesday of that week. But we'll get the date on there. Yes, it's on there.
Excellent. Thank you. This is great.
And again, please come and participate.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Okay. Do you have a contact within the district currently? Is that you, Michelle? Okay, I wonder. I was gonna. Okay. Okay.
She does a fantastic job, by the way. Really has done a great job.
August 9th this year.
August 9th. That's what I was thinking. So, yeah,
Okay.
we set that date at our last meeting that we had.
Okay, wonderful.
So,
well, thank you for sharing. That's no.
Admin as well on certain help, so thank you, admin. We look forward to seeing you again this year. Greg, thank you. Maybe they're all here to get done in. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your willingness to come and educate the public. Thank you. Ms. Widmeyer, was there anything you wanted more than just the proposal that's in our board book? Did you want to do any more talking about it?
Yeah, I was gonna share some information if that's okay.
Sure.
This is, I have some data to show you that precipitated this request. We've been keeping track of how many subs each school has requested and how many jobs have gone unfilled. So for the first 3 weeks, we had a total of 203 jobs requested, and we went with 52 unfilled. That was first 3 weeks of school. The second 3 weeks of school, we had 322 requests, and 97 of them went unfilled. The next 3 weeks, 258 jobs were requested, 107 unfilled. The following 3 weeks in this one takes us through the middle of December. We had 344 jobs requested, 142 went unfilled that 3-week period. The next 3 weeks, which ended January 26th, we had 376 jobs requested, 120 were unfilled. The following 3 weeks, we had 386 jobs, 155 went unfilled. The number of unfilled continues to grow. We continue to hire, but we are burning out those that we have hired.
who had a desire to work part time. Um, they they hired on to work part time, and we have kept them full time for months. And we had just before spring break, I think Larry had 4 who said, after spring break, I'm done. I just can't do anymore. And they had a variety of reasons. One was moving, another one was just this is this is more than I bargained for, and I have other things I want to do. Um, the the last that was the last one, the 327 jobs, and this was in 2 weeks. 327 jobs. This was right before spring break, and 133 were unfilled. So I wanted to share that. Those those are the numbers that we are looking at daily, and why we feel that, perhaps if we hire somebody full time at, you will notice in the proposal we are not recommending Mount Harrison or Minidoka Junior High because of the small numbers of students that they're building, but they would get first. If they had a request for a sub, they'd obviously be top of the list to get one. So we would hope that we could satisfy their needs from that substitute pool. But we really feel that having experienced a roving parrot in my building at Havern for 6 months, I can tell you from that experience, I only had 3 days in that entire 6 month period that person was not put in a classroom to cover for a teacher who was absent. There were only 3 days, and those 3 days they did small group. They helped with small group work for Paris, and so I think the need is there, and I think we've tried throwing more money at the situation. We raised the amount that we're paying our subs. We also added a bonus in this year. Um, on average, we have, well, you see the numbers. We have 3 to 5 people that apply that we recommend for hire, and some of them work continuously full time, and others will get 1 or 2 jobs out of them if we're lucky. We have a few on our list that they've been on the list, and they'll do one job every 6 months so that they get to stay on the list. So we think that there's a need, but it should not at any cost come at the expense of FTEs in the building. If it means it's going to be detrimental to the staffing needs in the building, I would say this is a no-go. But if we can figure out a way to fund this so it doesn't negatively impact our schools, I think it's really, I think it would be very beneficial. But my biggest concern is that it doesn't take away from funding from schools. I don't want to rob Peter to pay Paul to cover this because that defeats the purpose entirely.
So, just out of curiosity, are most of the requests for people who are sick or some other reason? Do you know? Do you have any information?
He is keeping track of that, but it's in a different spreadsheet, so I don't have. I'll have to ask him tomorrow.
Okay.
But we can send that information.
I was just wondering.
We have a lot this year. We still have a lot who are going out on illness, but there are times when we have a lot of and we have noticed a trend on Mondays and Thursdays. Trying to get one extra day on either end of their 3-day weekend, and so we probably need to have that conversation as well.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have questions for Ms. Woodmeyer?
I do. I was just what is the policy when we're short? What just doubling up classes, or what is
So each building treats it differently. So I would entertain any comments from our administrators. I know that several of our schools get hit really hard. Angela, you've had shortages.
I use everybody today.
And what happens is when you are using para who is assigned to work with interventions with small groups, the only loser in that situation are the students, because now they're not getting the interventions they so desperately need. And if we ever have any hope of increasing our scores, we need to be able to provide them consistently in the ways that they're designed to be done. So, any other?
And I know you've had a lot of shortages.
Yeah, it just when it hits, it hits.
It
And it
robbed
hurts.
Peter to pay Paul in the building, and when we rob Peter, it's Peter is the kids.
I know that quite often some of the teachers are having to cover other classes for a little
Yes,
bit
in
too,
the
right?
secondary, Kim, what happens if
They lose their prep.
They lose their prep.
That's going on their prep
They,
time.
they get paid a small amount to go do it, and they appreciate that, but they do lose their prep time. And with a 4-day week, that's hard.
and that prep is valuable, and it's needed if we want to have good instruction in the classroom that the teacher is covering. So,
Right.
I mean, it's a really vicious cycle, and I hope it's something that we can come up with a possible solution.
One more follow-up question then on that. So, have you with the studies you've done or things that you've done? Do you feel like there are people that want this position? Like, do we have people that are currently they're obviously they're doing it right now. They're basically full time.
They're all a full-time job. We have had several when we asked our team if they might be interested in something more full-time. We've had a number of our regular substitutes say, yeah, I would be interested in that if it meant I got to stay in one building and do cover classes in just one building. Buildings are just different. The policies and procedures in each building are just different enough. As much as we try to be consistent across the district, they're just different enough that it's hard. It's hard to go from one building to another. Any other questions?
Well, we were just kind of having this discussion over here as we want these kids to have these high scores, but it's pretty tough when the teachers aren't there.
Yeah, when we're I mean, it's bad enough that we're having to, we don't have a lot of highly qualified staff, and then you couple that with the people that we've hired and we've trained to do those interventions, and they're removing from the
Yeah.
kids. So it's just a bad scenario all the way around.
Okay. Any further questions? All right. Well, thank you, Mrs. Woodmeyer. Does anyone have any comments as we move on to the job descriptions that we had in our board book? We had 4 of them all together. Anyone have any questions? And Dr. Parker, I just want to verify the one for custodial assistant. That's a new job description. Okay. The others are just kind of some reworking on, basically, I think you and Ashley went over them and made them fit what you're doing now, right?
You were never revised.
They'd been there a long time, not revised, I noticed. Okay. So, any comments or questions? Anybody? All right. All right. The new math curriculum. Ashley, I appreciated the information that you gave regarding it and the fact that you could go in and look at it. I just wanted to be able to see the lessons. That's the only thing I wanted to do. I really hoped I could. It didn't work. But I thought that it's extremely well thought out and planned out. Were they all that way?
I would say one of the hardest things of the process was they were all really I'll give one just so Cameron can make fun of me later. That all of them that we looked at were very well done programs. Like we would have been, it was a tough decision, I guess I should say, when it really came down to it. They each had different parts of them that made one a little better than another, and a lot of different opinions in the room based on people's experience with teaching math and the grade level they taught. But this is the one that at the end of the day, more people voted for that one as the top.
Did the parents have a lot to say about it? I mean, I saw who was there, and I thought that was greatly done.
Yeah. The parents were like, it's like I didn't know if they would just sit there and feel like they couldn't contribute with the teachers who would come in probably knowing more than them or feel intimidated by that. But that was not the case. I was pleasantly surprised that they had great conversations. They worked within a grade level. So
Okay.
there were 4 to 5 of them working and talking when they really looked at it. And the parents had great questions and they
Okay.
would ask teachers questions. And when we had the presentations, they participated and asked questions as well.
Great.
Ashley, how much, if any, input do the junior highs have in the curriculum for K through 11? I just thinking about, obviously, those kids at some point are moving into our junior highs.
Right.
Is there any input where we're trying to connect the two?
Yeah, so it is, we definitely want to make sure that they connect. We see a shift in what elementary to middle school looks like, which you definitely always see in scores that there's a drop off. Last time our secondary selected a curriculum, we tried something a little different and they opted to reach down into the elementary program. So sixth grade actually used what the elementary was for a little while. And that was difficult for them, I think, a lot because you had 2 different programs going within the school. So that was hard for those teachers. And sometimes you had a teacher that was teaching both. And we did invite secondary to the open house to come and look at it. That they were welcome to do that, and they were invited to come the day. They did not come that day. I think they had something else going. But they have, like everybody had access to all those programs. That's one of the, I guess, positives about how companies give you access now. It's not boxes and boxes and boxes of things. It's you can have free online access to everything, so you can actually see more. And unfortunately, this program is actually a K-12 program. It's not often that you find a curriculum that K-12, and I haven't looked at the secondary of this at all. Like, usually they have very differing opinions to the elementary, to the secondary of what fits and works. And the program they use doesn't reach down into elementary.
Okay. Okay. So do we have an idea how much this might cost the district? I'm assuming you do. I'm afraid I didn't see that anywhere in there.
My first question.
So I have had them quote a 5-year. So this will pay for the licenses for the whole 5 years. So what we've been doing on the one we're currently on is I actually pay a license fee every year for a portion of it. So this is the licensing for 5 years, workbooks for 5 years. So we basically contract in a rate for the workbooks. And then the teacher, it comes with teacher manuals, printed teacher manuals, and then a few extra teacher books. They don't do them like they used to, and teachers would have like 25 extra books. And then a manipulative kit per classroom. And you ready for the price tag? $554,000. $555,000
over 5 years.
For 5 years.
How does that compare into what we're doing currently? I know you're doing it the license yearly now. If you were to take that on a 5-year, what are we looking at?
So we don't have some of the things right now that we'll be getting this time. So like we don't have student workbooks, so it's a little hard to compare the cost. Right now I'm probably paying, well, we have a few different things going because we have a different math license that is probably 30,000, and then another one, another 30,000, and another 30. So we're solidly probably paying 75,000 in math licensing right now.
Per year.
Per year.
Okay.
So is this paid out over the 5 years then?
Nope.
This is an upfront?
Yep. We budgeted 500,000 in curriculum for this. So we're hitting around
over.
there. And then we have some remediation money that we get from the state for ISAT remediation, which this is a core program, so that can be used.
Okay.
So we have the need to purchase it.
So with this program, is that bringing in anybody for the teachers to do
Yes.
that?
Yep. So this one, right now, it is they cap their professional development by participants. So I have to buy a day or a trainer for every 50 people for one of the trainings. So this is including 2 days of training for it will be all teachers, and then we'll do a webinar in before they're out. So in May they'll do a 2-hour webinar, just like walk through the program kind of thing, so they can see it if they want.
That's bringing somebody in to our district.
Yep. So the getting started webinar will be a webinar. The others will be somebody here.
Do you know of any other districts that are using this?
In Idaho, there was it was a smaller district. I want to say maybe New Plymouth, but I'm not for sure. Washington has it a lot.
I was just curious if you talked to anybody that was actually using it and how the support was from.
Yeah, it's fairly new in Idaho. So the company that owns it is Imagine Learning, which is actually based in Provo, and then they've recently purchased this illustrative mathematics. So and we've worked with Imagine Learning before. So I'm not too worried about, because that is an important piece of it. How responsive are they going to be to provide support?
Right. Ongoing support.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this PD is looking at like initial getting us through, because I asked, well, do we want to let teachers get started? And they were very clear, nope, you need to have this training before they start teaching, like, kind of thing. So I felt comfortable that they were willing to tell me, no, that's a bad idea. You need to do it this way. And then we'll look at a little more into the year, having some additional.
So I've heard from people that they're not real fond of Eureka Math. And so is this enough different that it should make a big difference?
I guess how they're different, everyone approaches it a little differently. It comes down to the teaching of the math of it, I guess.
Okay.
And I think every teacher has one piece of, I don't like this that does it this way, and I don't like that I don't have this workbook or different things like that. So it's hard to say what it is exactly.
Okay.
This one, I think there will be things in this one that will make it easier for teachers. Like a lot of things were prepared, like slides and things that they can just put up on their TV and have ready to go. So I'm hopeful that that will be helpful to the teachers.
That's what impressed me when I was going through their introductory video is they have the number of lessons, they have what it's going to be about, and they have all this stuff prepared.
One of the things that we were a little concerned with was we're a 4-day school week. So anytime we start looking at a curriculum, they're not built around a 4-day school week, but they will work with us of what needs to be condensed or what to take out to make sure that everything that is essential, that teachers are able to get through that.
How did this one compare, just for curiosity's sake, how did this one compare cost-wise to the other two programs?
They were all actually very similar. So I did get costs of all of them before we even had the date, and they're all about the same. I was a little surprised about that. One of them, Bridges, was coming out with a new edition next year. So that one could have initially cost us a little more to do an upgrade, which they were very honest about too of what that would look like. They were all 3 really great companies to work with too. Yeah.
Telling us a little bit more about it than what we could see. All right, moving on. Our administrator department and committee reports. Anyone have any comments or questions regarding anything they saw there?
On the reports?
Yeah, on the reports.
The
Mm-hmm.
Comments on that? That's the same as we had last time. Is there more news?
It's true.
It is the same one, isn't it?
So we don't have an update on how the concession stand restroom thing is going any much different. Okay. I know that. Yes.
The restrooms are lovely and work. My son had a JV baseball game, and I went right over there. And I stood in there a little longer than probably necessary because I was freezing, but it worked well and it was beautiful. Had warm water. We were happy.
So they were working.
They were working on. Yeah, they're great. They were unlocked and ready for us.
Awesome.
That's great. That's good to know.
Pardon me?
The bathrooms are up and running.
Concession stand is not. Okay.
They were waiting for shelving and a sink.
Oh.
So we had countertops. Just waiting for some shelving and a sink.
Okay.
We can't serve anything out of there until we have water.
That's true. Yeah.
Gotta be sanitary.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
I confess, Cameron, I'm the one who wanted to know what the solar thing was. Solar winds? I thought, how are we having something solar going on in our district?
That's just the She thought we were into alternative power.
Yeah. You what?
We have wind.
Yeah, we have that. What do you need? Sorry, there's something I wanted to ask you about again. Is there anything on the policies on discussion for the policies? Okay. There was something I saw that had some marks on it. I guess never mind. Again, I just want to say thank you, Dr. Parker, for your super notes that are coming out weekly. And I think that
Ashley owes me big time.
Ashley owes you big time. Well, are we all supposed to sing happy birthday?
That would be appropriate.
That sounds fair. Sounds fair.
I don't know if I've ever seen her turn red before.
I can do that. Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's pretty good, yeah.
We took her picture last time, and she turned red. Yeah.
That's true. Okay. Oh, I just wanted to comment, and I know he's not here, but can you please let Brady know that Mr. Trinkle know that it was fun to see all of the sports put together into one report and the results. And whoever's idea that was, I thought that was fun because we definitely don't always see a compilation like that from the middle school and high school put together.
That is awesome.
I'm trying to make his job easier. Now that he has it filled, he's filling it.
Okay. Oh, I know what it was. AB tutor update. That's what I saw that I wanted to know.
You want to know what AB tutor is?
Uh-huh.
I'll use this.
So AB Tutor is what the teachers use to control the lab computers. So like
Oh,
they can see their screens, they can control the computers and stuff. And we got a license for version 9. So we had to go to all the labs and update it to version 9 because you can't use 8 and 9 at the same time. So we had to update all the lab computers to version 9. So that's all it is just updating that
okay.
program. So
Well, like I said earlier, alphabet soups sometimes are fun.
yeah.
And at least the created solar wind server was all, and I could read that. So, and congratulations on cleaning the server closet.
Yeah, that we cleaned ours. We have all of the other ones to get through. If the schools would like to get their things out of them so that we can do that, that would be great.
Okay, any other comments on any of those reports? Okay, there was no policy discussion, then superintendent, we, again, thank you, Dr. Parker. So this brings us down to the business part of things, and the first item is the approval of job descriptions for business manager, director of student improvement, director of student achievement, and custodial assistant. Did anyone have any comments or questions? The only thing is I did request a little bit of looking at the business manager that combined with the treasurer, and we had talked about some changes there. So if you're willing, we can pull that one out and improve the others. Okay. Does anyone want to make a motion?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we hold that particular one on the business management / treasurer for the next
time,
next meeting.
And what about the rest of them?
Do we have to do all?
Well, I guess we can do just that one probably first.
Do we pull them all?
No, not pull all. No, just the one.
I'll
Just
make
the
a
one.
motion to approve the others.
Oh, and make a motion to approve the other ones.
Okay.
Okay,
All
I
right.
will do that.
Motion by Mrs. Anderson to.
Okay, you want me to motion to hold the business manager treasurer until next month?
And approve
the rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Motion by Mrs. Anderson, trustee Anderson. Second by trustee Sukan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And then the math curriculum, are you ready to make an approval here?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the math curriculum.
Okay. Motion by trustee Perez.
Second.
Like I said, second by Mr. Claridge.
Trustee Claridge.
Trustee Claridge. Our new trustee Claridge. Okay. Got that, Carrie? Any further comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. The approval of the 23-24 and the 24-25 calendars that were included in our board book.
Thank you, Ashley, for that, by the way. Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the calendar of 2023, 2024, and the 2024, 2025 school calendars.
Okay. Motion by trustee Anderson.
I'll second that.
Second by trustee Sukan. Any further comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And we have policy number 1 is D240.00. It is learning materials review and reconsideration of learning materials. This was a second reading, but it's also recommended that we hold it for a third. You don't have it marked.
Do you want to hold it as a third reading?
Or do you want to pass it? Somebody have me quote. Okay. You don't have your spaces in there. Okay. Little miscommunication between us, I guess. So I would entertain a motion, or is there any comments on the other ones? The district calendar committee, that is just a slight change to make it that it would be every 2 years instead of 3 years of calendars. And then the evaluation of administrators, this one is requested that it can be passed so that they can get to be using it on the evaluations. So, anybody have any comments or questions? Okay. And then I would entertain a motion for approval of policy D240.00, policy D420.0, and policy D650.00. Is anyone willing to make that motion?
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion by trustee Sukan. Second by trustee Anderson. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And Mr. Claridge, would you like to make a motion to adjourn?
I would love that. Make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Claridge.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry. I just want to clarify because Mary did show me in personnel where we did approve the coach, but I don't remember seeing it in the actual approvals. But it has been done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
then
it was in there.
Okay.
Okay.
I just remember us actually mentioning it by name. So.
Yeah.
The consent agenda.
It was.
No, I just wanted to make sure before
it was
finished up.
put in there.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. It's
Consent agenda.
of those there. It was number 4. So, yes.
So, anyways,
okay.
with that,
We have
I
a
will
motion on
second.
the floor by Mr. Carriage.
No, I know.
Claridge, you're now a Carriage, sir. Mr. Claridge, and the second by Mrs. Anderson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.